Why isn't that working? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so today we got this test on Monday. It's over everything that we've studied thus far in this class, all the way through the classical era, so to about 600 CE. You've read about the post-classical era. You did some notes over it. That stuff's not going to be on there, okay? That's just kind of a preview so we can hit the ground running next week. This is just, your prehistory, hunter-gatherer type stuff, Neolithic Revolution, River Valley civilizations, and of course, your classical civilizations. You're not going to have an official, test review to complete for this one because this one's just kind of weird. But in the future on test, we will do it in that format. The test itself on Monday, it is going to be multiple choice. It's all going to be on Canvas. It's 20 questions. You're going to have 45 minutes to get it done. You got to get it done. All right. If you're not done at the end of 45 minutes, I'm grading whatever you are done with. It's one of the things about this class. We really got to institute time limits because that's what the AP test is going to be like. So do your best. It is open note. It is open book. I hate to do that because I don't think that is really beneficial towards getting you ready for the AP test. But seeing as we got to do the same stuff as the kids at home, and come on, let's face it, if you're at home, you're going to look at some stuff, or at least a lot of people would. I want to give you guys the same benefits as them. Okay, I just think that's fair. That being said, don't over rely on your notes. And here's where people mess up when stuff's open note, open book. Like a test, they'll get to question number one, be like, oh my God, I don't know that. Look it up. And then 15 minutes later, yes, I found the answer. And now I'm moving on to number two. And you're going to run out of time. You're going to answer like 5 questions. So what I would recommend, and I'll probably say this again on Monday, go through the test. All right, answer the questions to the best of your ability. Read everything once, go with your gut, move on. Then at the end of class, you'll probably have 10, 15 minutes to spare. Then you go back through it and double check your answers, especially the ones that maybe you didn't do so hot on, okay? That is the best strategy for something like this. This is the first time I've given a lengthy test. I've given some quizzes before, but a lengthier test on Canvas. So hopefully it works out fine. But Canvas is evil and it does weird things. So just anticipate the potential for problems. That's why we're doing this first one here all again. As far as things to study, those assigned readings. The first one that goes back, I think, to the first week of school on human development, early civilizations. Real basic overview stuff, but it actually covers a lot of the things that you need to know. Similarly, the one that I gave probably the second week of school over the classical era, the Greeks, the Romans, Persians, people like that. Those are the 2 readings you're probably going to want to look over. Then, of course, your notes. I mean, your notes are over the lectures, they're over the readings, but it wouldn't be a bad idea, especially if your note-taking wasn't great, to look back over the readings themselves. I would say in your notes, definitely pay attention to your vocabulary. Like I said, and I think I said this, the AP exam to some extent is kind of a vocabulary test because most of the questions, most of the documents you're going to see certain key terms, and if you just recognize them and know what they mean, you can usually figure out the rest of the question. So look over that for sure, and I think you're going to be in good shape. What we're going to do to kind of, get you in the right frame of mind is we're going to watch a short video from a fellow AP World History teacher who speaks much faster than me, so we're going to use him. That's going to kind of cover history before 1200. Again, the year 1200, that's our starting point officially for our curriculum. All this stuff we've been doing thus far is just laying the foundation. It's just laying concepts. Next week, really on Tuesday, is when we get into the stuff that you may be tested on in the spring. During this video, you're going to use your notebook. You're going to add something to your notebook that is super easy. The things in this notebook check, I really think most of them have been really easy. Take advantage of it. Remember, this is its own daily grade that I'm going to take up next Friday. It also averages into your last test grade. So what I'd like you to do, go ahead and get out that physical notebook. Go ahead and put today's date, September 11th, Patriots Day, day 11. Very important historical day in our nation's history, very sad day. And essentially, I want you to copy down this title, History Before 1200 Video Notes. And for those of you watching at home, I'm just going to show you all this stuff. Why not? All right. So we're about to watch a review video over history before the year 1200. This is going to kind of get you in the right frame of mind to start studying for the historical foundations exam that we are going to have on Monday. So here's what I want you to do. In your notebook, put the day's date on top, write history before 1200, and then I want you to divide the page into two parts. Part 1, called Prehistory to 600 BCE. Part 2, 600 BCE to 1200 CE. Okay, and you half a page for each of them. So this video, the guy's going to talk really fast, and I don't want you to really try to write down everything because it'll drive you nuts. You'll get more out of it by just listening and paying attention. But just to give you something easy to contribute to your next notebook grade, and also, to give you a sense of, hey, as he mentions things, that sounds really important, or hey, maybe that's something I don't know enough about. I would like you to give me at least 5 bullet points for each of those sections. The first section is like the first probably 4 or 5 minutes. It's all prehistory and river valley civilizations and stuff like that. I will pause when we get done with that section. That way, if you haven't gotten all your bullet points, you can think back to what you heard. Again, 5 bullet points, that's nothing. And again, we're not saying complete sentences. We're not saying a wealth of information, even just keywords, cuneiform, stuff like that. It's mainly just me seeing that you paid enough attention to the video to be able to do this. Once that's done, the rest of the video, most of the video, it's like 8 minutes that are going to be left over, is 600 BCE to 1200. And really, they don't go all the way to 1200 because that's kind of at the tail end of the post-classical era, and we'll get into that when we actually start the official College Board curriculum. But again, similar thing. The rest of the video, I need 5 bullet points. And again, maybe these are things to study up on, maybe not. But at the very least, I'm hoping that this reminds you of some of the stuff that you've read, some of the videos and lectures you've already watched, some of the notes. Once this is done, we'll go over just a couple tips and tricks, if you will, and then the rest of the class is kind of yours to either study, work on assignments that you are still missing from my class, or do kind of whatever you need to do to be successful. Remember, the grace period, this very nice thing that I've done, this grace period on any missing work up to this point, guys, it ends on Sunday at 11:59. Next week, we're adhering to due dates. You need to get your stuff in on time. If it's not on time, you are going to get those penalties we discussed. As far as anything 3 or more days late, or more than 3 days late, not accepting it, I am going to shut down the stuff on Canvas, after probably 3 or 4 days where you can't submit it. Will you still be able to if something crazy happened? Perhaps. You need to come and see me about it. And the reason is, since I've done this sort of moratorium on taking points off, guys, I literally have hundreds of submissions of stuff that's been late between, all my classes and all my kids. I'm going to be grading all weekend. I can't do that forever, guys. That's just too much, all right? So, just hold yourself accountable. If there's a due date, you got to prioritize. You got to figure out a good time to get stuff done. We'll talk a little bit about time management after the video. But again, you've got until 11:59 on Sunday to get all your missing work in. You can still get full credit. After that, we're taking the penalties. Yes? Can you wait until after the video? Because this is going to be pretty important. You won't have to go back and do this on your own. Okay. Come on in, man. So just to review, all right, we're going to watch this review video. In your notebook, you're going to take some notes over the video. You need the title on top of your notebook, or the whatever page you're taking notes, History Before 1200. The The first 4 or 5 minutes is going to be prehistory to 600 BCE. Write down 5 things. Any 5 things you think are noteworthy. Then the second part of the video is 600 BCE to 1200 CE. Same thing. 5 things that you think are important, and we'll be good to go. Again, this is going to be the hardest thing you got to do all day, but I think if you pay attention, it's going to remind you of a bunch of the stuff that you should at least be somewhat familiar with. So pay attention, stay awake, stay off your phones and computers and stuff. You don't need those just yet. This guy's going to throw a lot of stuff at you really fast, so be looking forward to it.
Hey there, welcome to a new year at Heimler's History. Now, in case you haven't heard, the new AP World History curriculum begins in the year 1200.
Gordon, this video is on Canvas. You're going to want to check this out. It's kind of messing up when I try to share my screen, but it is on there.
So that when we plot down into 1200, we know what's going on.
Sounds good.
The question we're going to be dealing with in this video is how did the human race survive and thrive all the way up to 1200? I'm going to start about 10,000 years ago on this massive unfolding event called the Neolithic Revolution, or sometimes called the Agricultural Revolution. Now, prior to the Neolithic Revolution, human beings just basically survived by hunting and gathering and wandering from place to place. But somebody, and nobody really knows who, discovered that if you plant seeds in the ground on purpose and then you wait around for those seeds to sprout up into crops,